So welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chapter 10 here for today on the show. What can I say? We're having an incredible, super badass evening, and the best way to start up the week because we have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Erin. Erin, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I mean, fantastic. What better way to start up a badass week than to be
Oh
chatting with
yeah.
someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Right back at you, Dan.
There you go. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, but it helps a lot. But also in the description below, you're going to find all of Erin's social media. Let's follow her. Let's find out why she's super badass. Without further more, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the very first question, which is, where the dream started? Like, was there a performance, movie, something that triggered this whole journey you've been building over the past years now?
Yeah, actually I am a dancer as well, so dancer and actor, and my mom put me into dancing really young, and then like the age of 3, and then when I was about 8 years old, she put me in an agency. It was a modeling commercial agent, and so I started going on set at a really young age. And I'm not going to lie, at first it was very like overwhelming as a kid to be like going to castings and things like that. But I started really loving it. And it just honestly is something I've just always done since I was a kid. So, like, it's almost like I didn't know any different because that's just the hobbies I've always had. That being said, I used to love watching Shirley Temple. And I love that she was a singer and an actress, and I loved her music. And I watched all her movies when I was a kid. And I knew there and then that I wanted to move to Hollywood and I wanted to pursue acting and dancing. So, yeah.
What were some of those kind of challenges or stepping stones you found along the way as you were recently starting into a pro career, let's say?
Well, challenges, I guess, would be just, being right for the roles. Like I got called back for a really big role on an Australian TV show and I had just gotten braces. So I wasn't able to do the role, which was unfortunate because you weren't allowed that role in particular. They didn't want anyone to have braces and things like that. I guess, being an entertainer, there's always going to be setbacks and challenges. But I think if you really love what you do, like, I really love what I do, even when it's hard. So it's gotten me to where I am now because it's all been through passion, not through like chasing clout or anything, but like a passion for it.
What has been harder for you? The moments of failure or the moments of success, and why?
The moments of failure, because I think no matter how many times you get a pushback, it's hard not to take it personally, even though you can't in this industry take it personally because it's not always to do with your talent or what you've done. You think, what did I do wrong? It's not about you all the time. It's just whether you fit that role. And so taking on those, like, you can't help but take it personally, even though you know you shouldn't. But the success has not been difficult by any means. It's always been a celebration for me. So I think that the setbacks need to happen so that when you get the success, you can celebrate yourself and be like, I worked so hard and I deserve this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tell me how you usually deal with, rejection, right? It's part of the gig, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the techniques you do or your thing here to not let yourself feeling down or prevent rejection to, ruin your day or things like that?
It's taken a lot of self work. Like I did a lot of, how do I explain it? Spiritual work. I had a life coach, and also I think the longer you're in this industry, the easier it is to take. And I've just done a lot of self realization, and it's been really great. So when I've done an audition that I got cut from, instead of like what I used to do is like call my mom or my friends crying, now I just go get a coffee and be like, oh, well, it wasn't meant for me. On to the next, you know? Like I don't dwell in it anymore like I used to. So I think that just comes with growth.
Now, guide me through your process of creating a character. Is there a specific technique or what is your thing here?
Oh, yes. It's actually a technique that I've done a few different like classes and things. And then one of my friends who's an actor gave me this tip as well. So I make a playlist that I feel like is related to the character, like a playlist of music. And I also break down the character and create a backstory. Who is this person? Who's their parents? What was their childhood like? Do they have siblings? Where did they live? And when you create that whole backstory, it makes it a lot easier to step into that character and become that character.
Can understand that stuff. That's pretty cool. And now that you mentioned music, tell me which song could describe you.
The first song that came to my mind, which is so cheesy, is Miss Independent. Because
Okay.
I've done everything I feel like I've just done everything on my own. And I left home at like 19 to live overseas and work. So I've had to learn to be very independent. I always have. My mum raised me to be that way. So I've worked really hard for everything I have. So probably that song, even though it's cheesy.
Is it the
Yeah.
one for with what's his
Kelly
name?
Clarkson.
Uh huh. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's
I'll
an
take
old
it.
one. Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you protect your own identity when you're constantly slipping into the life of others?
Not taking it outside of, for me, I know like as far as people doing characters and they do method acting and stuff, I'm able to step off set and become Erin again and not embrace that character all 24/7. Yeah, I mean, I can switch it on and I can switch it off. And that's just something that I'm able to do. I'm able to compartmentalize, but also once I get on set, then I switch it on and I'm that character. I think it's also a gift if you can method act and stay in that character for a long period of time. And I think if you're doing a movie, it is good to do that. But if it's a character that's like mentally challenging as a character role, then I think it's really important to be able to switch it off sometimes to give your brain a rest.
Okay. And at
Yeah.
this point, have you ever had like a character that perhaps was a little bit challenging, either for the script or for the creation? Like, did that ever happen to you at this point, or not yet?
Yeah, there was a movie that I did in the pandemic that required me to be, it was a more, dare I say, risque role. And I'm trying to put words into it, but it was challenging. It was fun, but it was definitely challenging because had to do scenes that I had not done before. So yeah, but it was good because I had a lot of female like the producer was female, the co-director was female, and I had a lot of support. And the co-actor was female, so that was good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, tell me what have been some of your highlight, yeah, like some of the highlight moments from your acting career that you had at this point.
I actually posted during the pandemic. I was doing a lot of comedy videos and just for fun, making videos. And through one of those videos where I was just fooling around in my apartment, as we all were, weren't we? Big writer saw my video and booked me on a job with one of the actors from Fast and the Furious. And so that was really cool. So I showed up to set and the crew were all like, and the writers and the director were all like union workers and like work on big TV sets and things like that. And I got to work with this actor who, I've been watching for years. And we did improv together and we also did scripted. It was a scripted show. But because they liked my ability to be silly, we also got to improv together. And that was definitely a highlight because I showed up to set not really knowing. And it ended up being one of the best days I've ever had. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think when moments like that happen, it makes you realize that you're on the right path. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
great. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
now, by this point, tell me what do you think that are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about actors in general?
I think a lot of people just see actors as broke, struggling people, and I hate that. I think, that whole like broke artist thing, that's for dancers as well and any kind of artist. And I really think we need to take our mentality out of that. And I also think it's up to actors to stop doing that, talking like that, like, oh, I'm a broke actor, or, I bartend and I act. I think the biggest misconception is that every actor is struggling. I don't think that's true. Every actor, like, I try to remove myself from any negative talk. Like, the industry has gone through a lot of shifts. And so the which is true, it's a fact, right? But the common conversation is, oh, there's no work, actors aren't working and this and that. But I am seeing actors work. I'm friends with actors that are working. And I think that I do, again, I know there's a shift and I know that's not the reality for everyone. But I think the more that you get stuck in those conversations, the more that does become your reality. If you're able to just remove yourself and be like, okay, well, this is really what I want to do, work on your craft, create, because then actors are creating misconceptions of themselves. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Let's say the one day I call you, right? And I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now, experience
Mhm.
is a thing, zero experience. So, based on what you know, what do you think that it would be important for me to know before jumping into this career?
I think you have to decide, am I acting because I'm really passionate about learning the craft, or do I want to be an actor to be famous? Am I doing it for the clout or the potential fame, or am I doing it for the passion? And decide, either way is fine, I guess, but just decide what route you want to go down. Because if you want to really embrace the craft, I would tell you to research classes that are really good and that would help you grow as an actor. And I would tell you to get, the right places to go to get good headshots and guide you in the direction that would help you get into get the castings that you want, and what websites you should be on and what to pay for and what not to put money into. So yeah, I think it's really important for people that want to be actors to, like any other craft, learn the craft. Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm an actor. And you're like, oh, like, what training have you done? Oh, I've done none. I'm just an actor. And it's like, oh, okay. That's kind of like, for me, I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, each to their own, right? I'm not, coming from a place of judgment. I guess it sounds like that. But it's quite interesting to me because as a dancer, I can't just say I'm a dancer. Like, I've done years of training to become a professional dancer. And I get that everyone's journey is different. Some people just know people in the industry and it works out for them. Some people are like TikTok stars. But yeah, I think if you called me and said I want to be an actor, I'd be ask you what path you're trying to go down, and then I would guide you from there in a
Oh, thank you.
nutshell.
I like it. I'll tell you what, if at some point I write my memoirs, I'll mention you in my thank you speech.
Okay, sweet.
Sounds like a plan. I love it. Now, tell me, what are some of the things that you expect for the for the whole acting industry to improve in the next 5 years? Let's say, is there something you hope for, or how do you feel at this point? How the whole machine works? Let's say.
I just hope that Hollywood goes back to being really busy and people wanting to shoot here, and opportunities for everybody, not just, people that have names all the time, just like opportunities that open up for everybody. I think that's really important. Yeah. And I really hope that we can go back to being the Hollywood hub that it was, and just so everybody can keep working and doing their craft.
Now, switching to our next section, quick speed round questions. Yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass. You ready?
Okay.
Cool. So, do you believe every role changes you?
Yes.
Have you ever turned down a role you still think about?
No.
Do you think rejection is a gift?
Yes.
Is acting more about truth than talent?
Talent is very important, but I will say yes.
Fair enough. Is starting small underrated?
Yes.
Have you ever felt more at home in a character than in your own skin?
No.
Do you believe success without pain exists?
No.
Do you ever consider leaving acting behind?
No.
Do you think the world still values great storytelling over quick entertainment?
Yes.
And do you believe patience is more valuable than speed in a creative career?
Yes.
And a bonus one, can you cry on cue?
Yes.
There you go. Pretty cool. Now, before wrapping up here, tell me if this conversation was the last time you ever spoke about your craft. What would you want to leave behind in people's hearts?
If there is something that you have a burning desire about, and if acting's that, or any part of any craft, it doesn't matter what I believe, it does not matter what your age is and where you're at in life. If it's something that's been burning inside of you and it's something you really want to do, then pursue it. Whether it's going to take a class, whether it's making a phone call, whether it's getting headshots and making yourself feel good, just take that one extra step to get to that path that you have wanted to pursue. Because I think that if you don't ever try it, at least try it, you will have regret. And I think that those burning desires don't come up inside of you for no reason. They're there for a reason, and you should listen to that.
And what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So how you stay positive in, one of those days, let's say?
I stay positive in the fact that I know that my journey is my journey, that what is meant for me is going to happen, even through the bad days. And that every time there's been a rough time in my life, there's always been a beautiful outcome. And so what keeps me motivated is just knowing that I might be having a bad day, but that day will pass, and that the next day could be the most amazing day of my life. And so I just focus on what the positive outcomes could be. If I sit in the negative, I'm going to stay in the negative. So I just focus on the fact that I'm doing the work and I'm doing what needs to be done, and that eventually my time is going to come, whatever that looks like.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you know what? My last question. So we can all enjoy and relax after an epic chat. Here, tell me, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Finding your passion.
Sounds good to me. I'll take it. And I mean, at the end, what can I say, right? I love the fact you're doing what makes you happy. That's incredible. We all know that usually takes guts for sure, but you're making it happen. You're showing results. And I'm super sure that eventually our next conversation at some point will be about the multiple projects you've been here and there, because you're doing it, as cliche as it sounds, you're doing because it makes you happy, and I do think that when you're focusing on something that makes you happy, eventually things will start to connect by themselves, and you actually feel
Absolutely.
good about it. You know what I mean? No matter how difficult a situation might be, you're still going to be able to pull through because it's what really drives you. So that's incredible.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think a lot of us are programmed to live a certain way. And I think that a lot of people are not. We all have a creative side and we all have the analytical side. And we're not supposed to, as humans, give away our creative side. So I think a lot of the time when people do, they're craving that creative side. They're craving it. And so, I really feel like in order to be happy is to do the things that you love to do. I understand we all have bills to pay, but if you really love what you do and you put the time and the work into it, something is going to pay off in the long run. Even if you do have that 9-to-5 job and you're on the side doing the passion, that is whatever brings up your vibration and makes you feel like you're exactly where you're meant to be and you feel like you're in alignment. That is when you're living your true self.
I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, come on. You should know why Erin is super badass, so let's follow her. Let's make her viral. #Team Erin.
Thank
and again,
you.
thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Have an incredible week. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you.
All right.